Cindy Aman deployed to the Middle East in 2003 as a military police officer with missions in Kuwait, Iraq, and Qatar.
I hadn't heard the word burn pit. I didn't even know what that meant. I knew that there was smoke everywhere and it smelled horrible.
It's estimated Aman is one of about 3.5 million service members exposed to burn pits in post 9/11 overseas combat. The pits were a primitive answer to how to get rid of heaps of garbage. Nonprofit Burn Pits 360 estimates the U.S. military burned around 227 metric tons of hazardous waste, more than 500,000 pounds of everything from batteries, body parts, plastics, human waste, chemicals, and more.
When I came back, I had some really weird symptoms.
Fast forward years later, the woman who ran every morning noticed trouble breathing when she walked up the stairs, but nothing showed up on her tests.
When you burn plastics, when you burn metals, when you do all these things and then you're inhaling them, of course your body is not going to react like it's supposed to.
The VA denied her request to go to a specialist in New York, so she reached out to her senator's office. Finally, she got into a specialist who took a lung biopsy,
which resulted in constrictive bronchiolitis and all kinds of dust and metal particles embedded in my lung cells. It was all right there.
A bipartisan bill introduced by Senators John Tester of Montana and Jerry Moran of Kansas would have streamlined that process for her.
There's a lot of veterans out there that need health care due to their exposure to toxins, in this case, burn pits. And we need to get their health care to them as soon as possible.
As you and I speak right now, somebody's dying from burn pits.
Veterans advocate and 9/11 first responder John Field joined the fight, along with comedian Jon Stewart, pushing for coverage. Field says the new legislation is just not enough.
While the story of 9/11 and the burn pit victims parallel each other, one was done by terrorists. The other one was done by our own federal government.
Field and others want to see a full list of what are called presumptives or known conditions linked to the burn pits, so veterans don't need to endure a round of denials and appeals to get coverage. It would take away the burden of proof.
No veteran should have to come home sick, burning from the inside out, and have to be his own doctor, advocate, and lawyer.
Not everybody sees it the same way John and I do, okay? Otherwise, this bill would have been done last year. And there's a lot of folks on the other side of the aisle, quite frankly, that are concerned about the cost of this bill.
Field says the cost of the bill is part of the cost of war. Tester says there's also concern about capacity at the VA. Burn pit registry data shows dozens of conditions as a result of prolonged exposure to those pits at bases. But the Department of Veterans Affairs has denied many burn pit claims, despite memos warning about the exposure going back to 2006.
We know now we have everything with Agent Orange. It's the same thing. Chemicals.
Tester, the chairman of the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee, says he made a commitment to Senator Moran that he would not take it to the floor until they had bipartisan agreement.
I would have preferred personally to take the whole Cost of War Act and pass it through. I get their frustration, but the bottom line is we're going to work as hard and as fast as we can to get this bill done. We just had to break it up into 3 phases to get it done.
And for veterans like Cindy Aman, it's a first step to prevent others from going through what she went through.
I wish it was moving faster. I wish it was more encompassing. I'm grateful. I'm always grateful for every bill that's, put together.
Maritza Giorgio, Newsy, Missoula, Montana.